Well, the bye week is over, and it is now flat-out football right through the mid-season point and on to the playoffs here in the British Columbia Football Conference. What's up, guys? My name is Dominic Abassi, and as always, here to take a look at the week ahead, week number 5 in the British Columbia Football Conference. And based on my conversations with the head coaches this week, there was a mixture of rest and practice during bye week. Most teams were on the field at least for a little bit, doing some film work, some light work with just helmets and shorts, and a lot of excitement to get back at it. I'll tell you that. You could see these coaches were not happy necessarily to take a break. They know it's needed, but really wanting to get back onto the field. I know I say this every week. They kind of pay me to do it, but seriously, again, another weekend full of intrigue with the matchups. As we head into rematch weekend, every game is a rematch of what we saw in week 4 heading into the bye week in the BCFC. The first game of the weekend I'll look at has the Rebels and Raiders meeting in Nanaimo, and shocker, there are 100 storylines that make this a compelling matchup. The last time they met in week 4, the Raiders, surprisingly to me, because I hadn't seen the Rebels and I was expecting more from them, the Raiders handled them quite easily and won that football game, really looking sharp offensively. Eli Nelms-Horton, a local Victoria boy, really showing up his hometown team and playing great for the Raiders. Jake LeBerge was sharp, and the Raiders forced 3 interceptions as well. And then there was all the other stuff, the non-football activity, a bit of a melee late in the game. 3 Rebels players were suspended, one of them for the entire season. And then the fallout ultimately leads to head coach Charlie Cardelicchia resigning down in West Shore. Now, normally, when you see a coach resign heading into the next game, you think, man, this team is not in great shape. They're at a big disadvantage without their head coach going into the next game. That is not the theme that I'm hearing in all the conversations I'm having. Everyone I've spoken with that is close to this league, that knows what's going on, are saying, look, West Shore is now immediately, right away, a better team. They're going to be better disciplined, better prepared, a real tight ship going on down there. And that, I think, speaks to the amount of respect that everyone in this league has for Shane Beatty, who takes over as the head coach down there. And I know, talking to Doug Hawking, he believes that as well. He says the team we're going to see in Nanaimo coming down from West Shore is going to be more disciplined, more prepared, and we're expecting a much different, much more intense football game. And I hope that plays out on the field for the fans' perspective. Really, really excited to call this game. I'll have the call with Paul Short by my side on BCFC TV. 2:30 kickoff, by the way, Caledonia Park in Nanaimo. The late game on Saturday is finally the home opener for the Okanagan Sun, as they will get a visit from the Langley Rams. And the Sun beat the Rams in a very defensive battle. Not a super clean football game, at least based on the box score and conversations I had. 10 turnovers by the Langley Rams is really the big number. 5 interceptions that jumps off the page at you. The Sun are a team seemingly struggling to find a high-quality quarterback at this point. Some injury trouble there. I know that Keith Zyla was forced back into the quarterback role and had some struggles on short preparation there for the Sun. That's an issue that lingered with them last season as well. Not much doubt to me that the Sun are a playoff team. I think we know that at this point, but I know that they want to be a championship team. They have not proven that they can play that way yet this season, really. As for Langley, I know they had a ton of turnover, a brand new roster, a bit of a rebuild if you want to call it that, but Coach Snoop did not come back to BC to be a part of a team that so far has 1 win. I know he's not happy with it. He's probably a little bit surprised at the lack of success they've had early on here. Mental toughness, too many mistakes, really plaguing this Rams team. 10 turnovers, as I mentioned, 6 fumbles. 6 times they put the ball on the carpet. They did recover 3 of them, but that number really stood out to me. They also had 131 yards of penalties compared to 185 yards of net offense. And it's pretty tough to win a football game with that kind of a ratio. Lots to prove for these two teams. And at the end of the day, let's be honest, it's a Saturday night under the lights in the Apple Bowl, home opener for the Sun. It's going to be a fantastic atmosphere to check that game out. The final matchup of the weekend, Kamloops hosting Valley. Over 900 yards of offense when these two teams met in week 4. The Huskers coming out on top. Valley looking to make it 3 consecutive wins. the story out of Chilliwack just continues to be incredible. And honestly, I'll say it right now, Bob Reist, Valley Huskers head coach, is the coach of the year in the BCFC. Mark it now. If he doesn't win the award, it's a travesty. I don't care what happens in the next 6 weeks of this season. The Huskers have the league's leading passer, the league's leading receiver. In all likelihood, are going to head into the midpoint of this season, at worst, tied for first place and currently holding the tiebreaker over the VI Raiders, who would have the chance to enter the Week 6 tied with the Huskers. For Kamloops, they really need to find a spark with that group. Otherwise, I think could be looking at a long back half of this regular season. BCFCTV.com, the place to be if you want to watch all the action this weekend. And after what I just said, how could you not want to check it out? And of course, as always, for the latest, be sure to follow the BCFC on all their social media platforms. For the British Columbia Football Conference, I'm Dominic Abassi.